Hi, and welcome to Gadget News and Review. We are home to some of the coolest gadgets, and the best consumer reviews online, buyer's guides and features. If you like our review, please subscribe for more upcoming reviews videos. Samsung Galaxy Note 9 Review. The Galaxy Note 9 is the most refined phone Samsung has ever made, with probably the least number of new features introduced on a new Samsung flagship phone. But we're completely fine with that because this is a phone that's been tuned to perfection. It's the biggest Android phone that will grab your attention, with a sizable 6.4-inch Super AMOLED display, a huge 4000 mAh battery for all-day performance, and up to 512 GB of internal storage and 8 GB of RAM. Slot in a 512 GB micro SD card, which Samsung will gladly sell you, and you can have the first mainstream 1TB phone in your hands. That's more storage than most laptops equipped with an SSD, and though we're not quite sure what you'll do with all that storage, it's there for anyone who wants it. The Galaxy Note 9 doesn't look or feel much different than last year's 6.3-inch Note 8, and inherits a bunch of features from this year's Galaxy S9 Plus features, including camera specs but with added software tweaks. Exclusive to the Note 9 camera are automatic scene optimizer and flaw detection features that enhance photos. The S Pen now has Bluetooth for remote-controlled shortcuts that, unlike the Bixby button, are customizable. Want to pose for a photo 30 feet away? This S Pen can help you do that and more. It works great, but you may have trouble finding a spot to rest your precious Note 9 for full-body snapshots. Bad news, the price feels much bigger. Get ready to pay iPhone X level prices for the entry-level 128GB and 6GB model. It's as meant for power users. According to Samsung, the physical size, storage size, price, and battery capacity all tell us that. It sees Note 9 buyers as people who spend a lot of time on their phone and want the best of the best. They buy the best AV receiver, the best TV, and so forth. The Note 9 is our top smartphone recommendation, that is, if you want to own a giant, feature-filled phone with a stylus and hate saving money. Ongoing Samsung Galaxy Note 8 deals are the biggest threat to this upgrade that, ironically, is all about going big in a variety of small ways. The new S Pen, this year's big gimmick for the Note, and it's capable of performing Bluetooth-connected magic tricks from up to 30 feet away. Samsung's engineers managed to squeeze a small supercapacitor and tiny Bluetooth low-energy antenna into the otherwise unchanged stylus so that it can perform various remote functions. It's the type of gimmick we ended up liking, sometimes. What can you do exactly? The best feature is being able to remotely launch the camera app with a long press of the S Pen button, flip the camera to selfie mode with a single short press, and snap a group photo with 2 presses. It's much easier than setting the camera timer, which Samsung hid in the camera settings menu last year, and less awkward than waving your hand in front of the lens to trigger the gesture-initiated camera timer. Samsung is making S Pen shortcuts customizable. Here are the ideas mentioned. Camera, flip the camera, take a photo. Camera, flip the camera, record a video. Music player, play and pause music, skip to the next track. Photo gallery, advance to the next photo, cycle back to a previous photo. PowerPoint, back and forth through presentation slides. Samsung put a software development kit (SDK) out there for non-core third-party apps to take advantage of this shortcut tool, so you'll see more customizable as long as app developers support the functionality. The S Pen does need to be charged, but it requires only 40 seconds of charge time for 30 minutes of standby battery life or 200 button clicks, according to our testing. There's also a helpful S Pen battery indicator in the notification shade at the top, so you won't be kept guessing how much power you have left. And we found that keeping the S Pen topped up was much easier than charging the iPad's Apple Pencil. Simply embedding the S Pen inside the phone charges it, and when it's not in use, that's where you typically put it. The Apple Pencil has nowhere to hide, and walking around within the lighting port is rather dangerous. Samsung's years of stylus-making experience is obvious here. The Blue Ocean Note 9 has the more dynamic yellow S Pen for a nice contrast. It writes in yellow digital ink, while the lavender purple phone has a purple pen and purple digital ink. All colors support the same Air Command functionality. You can draw, jot down notes, annotate screenshots, translate foreign text, and send live messages, last year's S Pen gimmick, and you can do these actions whether or not the S Pen is charged. Enterprise users will find one use case from the new S Pen, running a PowerPoint presentation without having to fetch and pair a Bluetooth remote. Those things are one-trick ponies, so if an S Pen can replace this for you, that alone may be worth it. Everyone can benefit from the Galaxy Note 9 screen-off memo feature. It's not a Bluetooth functionality or even new, it appeared on the ill-fated Note 7, but it deserves a mention. Pop the S Pen out of the Note 9 when the screen is off and it'll automatically launch a note-taking interface against a black background. Screen-off memo allows you to jot down notes without the need to unlock the Note 9 and launch a specific app. It makes noting taking much quicker and easier, and while it may be a simple offering, we've used it frequently. We're thankful that all screen-off memos save automatically, but found a bug, or at least an oversight with the yellow ink exclusive to the Blue Ocean phone. Our notes against the black lock screen background look fine, but save to S Notes, which uses a white background when you open up the app and retrieve your notes. It's no surprise that, among the top manufacturers, Samsung is the first to produce a 1TB ready smartphone, a capacity that rivals the best laptops people buy today. It's Samsung that makes both the internal 512GB flash drive for phones and a variety of 512GB micro SD memory cards. The Note 9 is billed as the phone that will never run out of physical storage space. Uninstalling games and deleting movies you've downloaded isn't something you'll need to worry about here. Take all the photos you want at full resolution, and all the 4K video you want, no compromise needed. 8GB of RAM is going to work best for Samsung's DeX desktop virtualization mode if you're planning to make use of second screen workflows. Turning an HDMI screen into a PC-like experience driven by your Note 9 is taxing. But we found DeX to be wholly better on the Note 9 versus the Note 8. The latter subjected to using a physical DeX dock accessory. This time all you need is a simple HDMI dongle. Of course, the 512GB storage and 8GB RAM send the Note 9 price skyrocketing. The entry-level 128GB and 6GB of RAM configuration is cheaper by 800 dirhams. And keep in mind that storage configurations on the box are a lie. At least 19GB of space is gobbled when you boot the phone up for the first time. It's worth noting that the 128GB Note 9 also supports micro SD cards up to 512GB in size, giving you plenty of storage scope with this model as well. The Note 9 battery capacity has been unshackled, breaking through the 4000 mAh ceiling. This is the best Samsung phone you can buy when it comes to battery life. Samsung is finally comfortable enough to give us a larger battery following the Note 7 recall. It has skimped on the battery capacity ever since, and promises that its 8-point safety check will mean no repeat of the fires we saw 2 years ago. Battery life is touted as all day, but for Note Power users. That means after several days of testing, we actually saw more than a day of battery life with moderate use. This is good news because while Note 8 battery life started out as all day with a bit of conservative use, the battery health naturally depleted over time. The 4000 mAh capacity gave us more buffer room between nightly charges, and we didn't have to employ Samsung's smart battery-saving tricks to get through the day. Our tests, involving a 90-minute looped HD video, showed the Note 9 battery fell from 100% to 88%, which is 1% better than the S9 Plus did. And keep in mind that the Note has a bigger battery, so that 88% is more meaningful here. While there are two Note 9 storage configurations, the battery size, thankfully, is the same no matter which version you buy. You also get fast charging and fast wireless charging capabilities. As much as we appreciate wireless charging, fast charging with the included USB-C cable is always faster. Tease fast, but it's not the fastest charging phone among the top flagship handsets. That title belongs to Huawei and OnePlus at the moment. Also, if these rates seem slow, remember, the Note 9 has a bigger battery than most mainstream phones, excluding phones in China that never come west, and battery-focused variants, like 5000 mAh phones from Asus and others. It charges plenty fast, even if Samsung no longer has the fastest charging technology out there. Samsung's Super AMOLED display doesn't need to change much to look really great. It's consistently the best smartphone screen in the world until the next Samsung phone launches every year. The 6.4-inch Note 9 screen did grow by 1/10 of an inch over the 6.3-inch Note 8 display. It's a change few will notice without breaking out the measuring tape which we used in our testing. The nearly bezel-less Infinity display is bright and punchy, and confirmed to be 27% brighter with 32% more contrast ratio than the Note 8. And, even if the tall 18:9 aspect ratio, or in this case 18.59, is on just about every flagship phone, Samsung's curved edges are unmatched. The size of the Note 9 has changed from the Note 8 too, but maybe not how you think. It's slightly wider, and slightly shorter, than the Note 8, with dimensions of 161.9 by 76.4 by 8.8 mm. The Note 8 was 162.5 by 74.8 by 8.6 mm. The Note 9 fits into pockets of normal jean shorts just fine. Caution, hot pants wearers, shallow back pockets smaller than this 162.5 mm tall phone had it sticking out when we wore certain shorts. Cases make it bigger and it weighs a bit more than the Note 8 to 201 g versus 195 grams. This isn't a small or light phone, but it's more comfortable to hold than the S9 Plus in some respects thanks to its boxy, less rounded-off design. Here are two features Samsung gives you that you don't get on a similarly priced iPhone X, a headphone jack and a micro SD card slot for expandable storage. The Note 9 is IP68 water and dustproof, and that resistance rating stays the same whether or not the S Pen is embedded. New to the Note 9 over the Note 8 are stereo speakers just like on the S9 and S9 Plus. Here's something else you won't get from Apple's top phone, a fingerprint sensor that acts as an alternative to Samsung's iris scanner and face unlock. Even when combined, these sensors don't work as well as Apple's Face ID, so the fingerprint sensor staying it extra important for Samsung. The fingerprint reader is on the back of the Note 9, and centrally located this time. The Note 8 had a sensor on back too, but it was off-center and led to lots of camera smudges. The good news is the fingerprint scanner on the Note 9 is easier to locate, and our forefinger landed on most of the time. But Samsung can do better. The landing area is too small and still too close to the camera array. Having a Note 9 case helps here too. We would have preferred a larger and slightly lower target area. The Note 9 specs also include a chipset that's an upgrade over the Note 8, giving us what's at the heart of the S9 and S9 Plus, the Samsung Exynos 9810. Luckily, we found the chip fast for 3D games like Fortnite on Android and for moody tasking. Geekbench software gave us a multi-core score of 9051 and single-core score of 3698. That said, the OnePlus 6 gave us a multi-core score of 9100, and the iPhone X reigns supreme with over 10,000 in all of our tests. Samsung doesn't have the fastest chip, but it's plenty fast, and keep in mind you have the 6GB of RAM version. There may be a bit more to the 8GB of RAM version, though we haven't had a chance to test that out yet. Samsung is carrying over its camera prowess to the Note 9, with low light defeating and telephoto zooming camera lenses on the back. This is one of the best camera phones you can buy. The S9 Plus gives you an idea of the photo quality to expect from the Note 9, though Samsung has tweaked its software to increase the quality. It automatically makes small, but meaningful differences to the white balance and color temperature by recognizing what you're shooting. The dual 12MP rear camera uses dual aperture technology to switch between an f1.5 aperture for low-light photography and an f2.4 aperture for normal lighting conditions. The S9 Plus gave us positive results even in the darkest settings, too, based on this same technology. The Note 9's front-facing camera does selfies at 8MP and includes autofocus, a first for a Note phone. Samsung fills its camera app with an endless number of mode options, too, R stickers, wide group selfies, and super slow motion video at 960 frames per second at a 720p resolution. It's one of the most robust camera apps in the business, yet easy to use. The Samsung Galaxy Note 9 camera identifies and adapts to various subjects with a new scene optimizer feature. It adjusts the white balance and color based on 20 subjects as varied as sunsets, flowers, food, birds, text and so forth. Compared to even the 6-month-old S9 Plus, we saw the Note 9 camera exhibit a bit more detail, but you're going to have to squint to see the differences. The camera understands what it's looking at more accurately than the AI camera in the LG G7, and it uses the same technology to help you correct flaws, including eye blinking, image blurring, lens smudges, and backlight. A pop-up warning message told us to clean our dirty camera lens and told us we blinked in shots. Here's our biggest complaint: while rival Android handsets can record 4K HDR video with 64 times the color data compared to current 4K video, the Note 9 cannot do this. Look like we're going to have to wait until the Galaxy S10 for superior, color-rich video that really pop. Samsung just missed the Android 9 Pie launch, meaning the Galaxy Note 9 comes with Android Oreo. Not that you'd notice, as Samsung puts its own spin on Android. That's not a bad thing anymore. The Samsung Experience software is well refined in 2019, with helpful cues on how to navigate a deep and complex operating system. It's much better than the bloated Samsung TouchWiz firmware on its old Android phones, and everyone who hates on the software today likely hasn't touched a Samsung phone in years. Samsung devices Galaxy S7 and up were the first with access to the free-to-play hit game Fortnite Battle Royale. The short 48-hour exclusive was designed to give other Android users phone envy. Samsung has also made it easy to download and install the game through its game launcher services, since it's not downloadable in the Google Play Store. Beyond that, the Note 9 and Tab S4 have an exclusive Fortnite skin that lasts forever. Samsung Pay is the other app worth noting. It continues to be our favorite way to make contactless payments, simply because you can pay for things at credit card machines that don't normally accept Apple Pay and Android Pay. Why no one has hopped on this MST, magnetic secure transmission, technology is beyond us. The Bixby AI assistant is here, and so is Google Assistant. Google's AI is smarter and understands us better, whereas Bixby often picks up our words as if we said them with marbles in our mouth. The good news is that Bixby is able to navigate UI better, going as far as to download apps from the Google Play Store. Other AI will just bring you to the app page and sit there when you ask to download something. If that Samsung Galaxy Home speaker is going to launch anytime soon, the company needs to improve Bixby first, and we hope it'll get rid of the insufferable Bixby button that we often mistake for volume down. It's basically the new offset fingerprint sensor we chastised Samsung for last year. We had to inquire about our emoji to get details about the avatar refinements. It's here. We tested them. Bixby and our emoji are not showstoppers for the Note 9, even though Samsung couldn't stop mentioning them 6 and 12 months ago. The Note 9 is the best smartphone that money can buy. Unfortunately, it's going to take all of your money to buy it, or at least more than you're likely budgeting for a smartphone purchase this year. The iPhone X drove prices to this level, and we complained then, too. Samsung is at least giving you more big for your money, and it's the best in most categories. The chief selling point for upgraders is the battery life. Its 4000 mAh capacity is 21% larger than the Note 9 battery, and its much brighter, slightly bigger 6.4-inch curved screen. It will wow you, even in direct sunlight. The Bluetooth S Pen has new remote-controlled tricks that are fun. The maximum 1TB storage size is unbeatable, and the AI-enhanced camera marginally improves photos. The Note 9 offers a lot to like, and a price hike to utterly dislike.